On this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq, soldiers in Camp Taji say goodbye to brothers in arms, and Italian forces train Iraqi police. These stories and more on today's FJI. Hello, I'm Petty Officer Matt Gleason. Welcome to this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq. With the announcement of the Iraq-U.S. pact, questions have been raised about how the agreement will impact U.S. presence in the country. In a recent press conference, the commanding general of Multinational Corps Iraq, Lieutenant General Lloyd Austin III, shared his thoughts about the future of U.S. forces in Iraq.
Well, one of the issues is that we don't plan on conducting unilateral operations in the future.
The general said the changes will go into effect at the beginning of the year. Part of the pact includes increasing responsibility of the Iraqi government on the planning and implementing of future missions with U.S. forces.
It's a sovereign country, and certainly we respect the sovereignty of this great nation, and so. Given that, I mean, it stands to reason that follows, that it is their country and they have the ultimate call on how operations, the directions that we'll take in proceeding.
According to the general, in the last 10 months, the Iraqis have made great progress in how they conduct operations and their capabilities in providing security to Iraqi communities. Part of the progress in Iraq results from the training of new Iraqi security forces. As Iraq rebuilds, it's not only strengthening its structures, but its security and those that provide it. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mike Falvo takes us to Camp Victory, where the Italian Carabinieri are helping usher in the latest graduates of the Iraqi Police Academy.
At first glance, it looks like a dreary day at Camp Victory. But the newest members of the Iraqi National Police Force didn't seem to think so. For them, it's graduation day. U.S. and Iraqi dignitaries also came out to join in the celebration. The new recruits trained with the Italian Carabinieri, an organization that serves as both a military and local police force in their native Italy. For months, the new recruits learned the skills that they'll need once they hit the streets. Skills in VIP security, crowd control, and criminal extraction. But the training doesn't stop there.
While the Iraqi National Police Force training is very important, it's not the only training we do in Iraq. We do a lot of senior officer training for the Army and are also training the Navy and the Air Force.
Even though he had a front row seat for the festivities, Admiral Mark Fitzgerald, the commander of naval forces in Europe and Africa, saw more than just a ceremony.
We want to transition the security requirements to the Iraqi Army, Navy, Air Force, and police. And as you saw today, we're well on the way to doing that.
As the band played, dignitaries and members of the Iraqi media saw the future of Iraq's security. And at the end of the day, there was certainly cause for celebration. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mike Falvo, Camp Victory, Baghdad.
In the coming months, Iraqi security forces plan to put 900 more recruits through the same training as Iraqi security forces continue to grow. As the 2nd Stryker Brigade combat team nears the end of its deployment, it bid farewell to some close friends as the Macedonian Army completed its mission in Iraq. Specialist Lucas Wysocki takes us to the ceremony at Camp Taji.
Camp Taji recently bid farewell to the final rotation of Macedonian troops in Iraq. The Macedonian contingent consisted of 2 elements, a Special Operation Forces platoon and a security element. In their 6-month tour, the unit took part in several high-level raids and contributed greatly to force protection on Camp Taji. This is the 11th rotation of Macedonian troops to Iraq.
Troops were passing through this mission. A lot of experience has been brought to Republic of Macedonia and to Army of the Republic of Macedonia. So certainly a very significant chapter in our history.
As the Macedonian, Iraqi, and American national anthems played, soldiers of all 3 countries saluted each other's efforts and bid farewell to friends and brothers in arms. Reporting for the 2nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team, Public Affairs, 25th Infantry Division, Multinational Division Baghdad, I'm Specialist Lucas Wysocki, Camp Taji, Iraq.
Coming up, Marines in Anbar province sharpened combat skills.
Here are the latest Operation Iraqi Freedom headlines. The Vice President criticized the Iraqi government's reliance on political and sectarian quotas in the selection of government officials. The Vice President said he and other members of the Iraqi Islamic Party could resign their posts in order to establish a non-sectarian National Salvation Government. The New York Times reports that a majority of the countries that comprise the multinational coalition in Iraq have redeployed. Next year, U.S. and UK troops will remain in Iraq along with small military contingents from no more than 3 other nations. The Iraqi National Police Commander said approximately 500 to 600 national police will provide security for Iraq's central bank in Baghdad. He added that the National Police will work with other Ministry of Interior agencies to protect and defend the international zone and the U.S. Embassy. Those are your headlines from around the region. I'm Senior Airman Jeremy Townsend.
The U.S. Army Reserve takes a different kind of strength.
The strength to help people one day and lead people the next.
The strength to build confidence one day and build knowledge the next.
The strength to improve your country one day and your career the next.
The strength to be both a citizen and a soldier in the U.S. Army Reserve.
There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Find out more about the Army Reserve at GoArmyReserve.com.
Although the security situation in Iraq has stabilized greatly, coalition and Iraqi forces continue to train for combat operations. Lance Corporal Frederick Coleman takes us to Anbar province, where his fellow Marines are keeping mission ready.
Approximately 50 Marines from Fox Company's 2nd Battalion, 25th Marine Regiment completed the first 5-day training cycle at Shadow Range in the Anbar province. For the first 4 days, the Marines, currently attached to 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Forward, prepared their weapons and rehearsed various situations that could occur in combat to prepare them for the final assault course. The final assault course, similar to many of those found throughout Marine Corps installations worldwide, tested the Marines' ability to communicate and work together from the fire team to the platoon level. Using weapons such as rocket launchers, mortars, M240 medium machine guns, and service rifles, the Marines successfully suppressed and took over simulated enemies embedded in trenches during the exercise. In addition, it gave the instructors the opportunity to better evaluate the 225 square kilometer range for future units who will train there. Fox Company Commanding Officer Major Tom Armis commented about his Marines during their trip to the range.
The Marines are doing well. They're learning. It's been a little while since they've done it, but they're doing a good job. They're being safe, but they're pushing the limits.
225 will continually rotate Marines through the range to keep up their ground fighting skills. From Anbar province, I'm Lance Corporal Frederick Coleman.
Rebuilding Iraq's infrastructure can take many forms. Construction projects improve transportation with new roads and bridges, and community improvements are leading to cleaner water and available energy sources. Sergeant Jim McKinney reports on a less conventional improvement in Kirkuk that's helping local herders.
In the villages of Omar and Abada in Kirkuk City, the residents now have access to sheep basins. Sheep basins allow herders to clean up their sheep before they take them to the market.
Yes, we use it for like 3 times. See, actually, the sheep broke the gate right there. Okay. So the company says we're going to fix it for you guys.
The Iraqi government paid to have the basins made. 4th Platoon of Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 67th Armor Regiment, went out to check on the projects in their area.
The second one we visited, it is operational. They've got a water source, they got a well right next to it. In fact, they just used it 4 days prior to us being there, and that's when the sheep broke the gate.
4th Platoon also took a look at another project in the village, a school completed about a month ago. Reporting from Kirkuk, Iraq, I'm Army Sergeant Jim McKinney.
That wraps up this edition of our program. From all of us here at AFN and Freedom Journal Iraq, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.